Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident Tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet-fighting robot series. Now this week, once again, we are continuing to amp up towards Medarot Day, coming up on the 28th. We have approximately one full week left to go before then, but the announcements and the reveals certainly do continue to trickle on in. This week, it looks like it's going to be kind of a lull week, kind of leading up into that. As I'm anticipating next week for sure, we are going to have some really big announcements. But even despite that, this week we do have a lot of exciting things upcoming and a lot of new bots and events incoming. So with that being said, since this week seems to be based around the sea with sea-based or float-based models, I have named this week's episode Sea-Legged Celebration. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what they did announce for this week. Starting up with this week's gotcha banners, we do have two brand new models that are incoming. It is DUC-0 Ugly Duck with a kit of Defense Seal, Press, Break, Sea Legs, and the Land Cruiser leg ability, who also is capable of meta change of the same kit, but changing the leg ability for Land Cruiser to Artillery instead. We also have TRT-0 Destiny with Shoot Boost, Defense and Evade Seals, Float Legs, and the Illusion leg ability. Now, honestly, the two bots this week probably don't bring a whole lot to the table that we have not already seen. We probably have not seen Land Cruiser as an ability in the game just yet, so that is a particularly newer one, for lack of a better term. But aside from that, again, nothing overly new. Ugly Duck does look like she is going to be a very solid, heavy punish, more or less, especially with Defense Seal guaranteeing that no one leaves or dodges attacks, or defends them no less. And Destiny looks like she's basically designed just to get in everybody's way and make it easier for a nuker to come up behind and finish the job. So honestly, I'd say this week's gotcha banners are going to be a little low-key, more or less. I wouldn't necessarily say put a lot of time and effort into them, but there will still be a reason to go after them regardless, because we have an event upcoming this week that will highlight the two of them. Up next are the Fierce Battles that were announced for this week, and we are seeing this week a BBS-0 Bash Destroyer with a kit of Triple Destroy, Sea Legs, and the Adapter leg ability, CLB-02 Side Move with Hammer, Conceal, and Guard, Sea Legs, and the Explorer leg ability. And then lastly, but certainly not least, MDK-0 Hemadacker with Repair, Double Wave, Sea Legs, and the Adapter leg ability. Now honestly, this week it looks like we're focusing on a lot of sea-based terrain and a lot of sea-based legs that focus primarily on having mastery on just about any terrain, if not more than what they're typically used to, which in my book is honestly fantastic. Sea Legs by themselves are honestly pretty solid, don't get me wrong. Probably won't be the fastest on the field, but they do have a very high natural evade, so pair a leg ability like Adapter, for instance, will definitely come in handy for something like that. Out of this week's Fierce Battles, I would probably arguably say that Bash Destroyer will probably be the MVP of the week, simply given for the fact that that Destroy does not discriminate against the target, and it is absolutely invaluable for taking down anyone that is using a shield to perhaps stand in your way or stall for time, forcing you to waste moves essentially to expire the shield. But of the two, honestly, all three are fantastic farm bots for this week, primarily for the legs alone for the reasons stated above. Solid legs, relatively high natural evade, and the Adapter or Explorer leg abilities will come in handy on a lot of terrains, absolutely. Now, as mentioned prior, we do have an event coming this week, highlighting around the two new gotcha bots that we have. It is a new event reward, and we can earn the following rewards, such as Rubies, ROM, Cyplasium, and more. But the highlighted rewards is a new Medarotter, Suzaku Shuri, a new event reward, WVN0 Ku Wyvern, with a kit of Hypercrept, Double Wave, and the Rambling leg ability. And in addition to that, we will also be seeing the Bird Medal as another reward, with a mastery of Shoot, Support, and Setup, and a good leg match of Wheel, Float, and Flight. Now, someone in our Discord actually did mention another interesting point. Normally, medals are always something great to make use of, as it does add that extra spice and that extra ability to be able to change things around on a party or a bot in the case that a nature or a certain mastery is not quite adding up. But something that a user in our Discord did point out is the fact that this is also the first power-based or power nature-based medal that primarily has a mastery in Float Leg. Just to go over that briefly, Power Nature is a different personality of medal that focuses primarily on raw power. So, for instance, a model, say for instance, Metal Eater, for instance, without the melee support, with the Ghost Shot and the Float Legs, would definitely fit right in with this. It is also highlighting that this event is percentage-based, so unlike previous events where it was ticket-based, and you basically got to redeem your rewards at your own leisure and in what order you wanted, this one is percentage-based and milestone rewards. So unlike in the ticket-based, where you only had to equip one part to get a full bonus, with the percentage-based, the more parts you have equipped on a particular on a single bot, the higher of a bonus you are going to receive. So as an example, with Juke, who was last week's highlighted gacha bot, using him as a full set gives you a 9% bonus to your overall point reward at the end of each battle. Using Destiny or Ugly Duck will give you the 12%. Ku Wyvern, the event reward, will give you an 8% bonus, just under Juke. And the Fierce Battles for this coming week will give you a 5% bonus per full set, essentially, that's per part that essentially is being used. Now, as mentioned, this event is also milestone-based, so you essentially have to accrue a number of points and just keep going, and the rewards will trickle in as you keep doing the event and farm it over and over. So personally, of the two different types of events, point-based, in my opinion, are a lot easier to manage, as really all you have to do is leave them on auto-farm, and essentially just let those rewards trickle in, and then just cash them in once your gift box starts loading up. So definitely looking forward to seeing more information on this. Ku Wyvern does look very promising with the kit, especially with Hypercrept, as a very solid support skill all around. Not only on top of this, we also finally got another update on the Realtime PvP update that was announced earlier this month and last week. We finally have a date for it, folks. This coming week on 11/25, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, we will now be able to challenge players from across the globe and not be paired off with an AI in order to participate in PvP. With this, they also announced that there are two separate types of battles and modes that you can participate for the Realtime PvP. The first of which is called Free Battle, where basically there is no limit, no modifier. Anyone who is capped will stay at that level essentially, and you will basically fight to your heart's content at the highest level that you can attain with your fellow player. The other mode that they mentioned was Level Lock, that I'm calling it. Basically, it will apply certain modifiers to the fight, such as locking part or metal parts or metals or even levels, more or less, to help kind of spice up the fight. Think of it kind of like competitive Pokemon in this case, as they're now adding more modifiers as a way to help spice up the PvP and really put players to their limits, as they're not only going to be fighting an AI selected opponent, but now they can willfully choose who they wish to fight, so they can make their own personal community tournaments, which I'm more than certain that we could certainly be doing in our own community sometime down the pike once this feature does officially launch. On top of that as well, we also have yet another huge piece of news. We finally have a launch date on the 112 Medarot set Box 2. That also will be going live next week on 11/24, where orders are now officially open. The price for the box approximately is 15,000 yen, which ballparks to roughly about $150 US. And just as a highlight for this set as well, to refresh, it does include in this box the female Tin Pet, Grand Beetle, Sonic Stag, and Blazer Mate from Medarot Navi, Chrono Jill and Shinzon from Medarot 5, War Bonnet, Saint Nurse, Peppercat, and Keith Turtle, all from Medarot 2. So if you've picked up box number 1 or have been working on it, this is your chance to pick up box number 2 and complete the collection for good up to this current point. So really excited for this set. I absolutely am going to be placing an order for my own box once this does officially launch next week. So really, really exciting overall. And like I mentioned, lots of new stuff this week, just to highlight and keep amping up the excitement towards Medarot Day coming up at the end of the month. All Medarot game-related stuff aside, we are still continually looking for translators, coders, and cleaners for the Medarot 3 and Medarot Reloaded manga translation projects. So if you have any knowledge of Japanese coding or cleaning with some time on your hands and willing to contribute, we are more than appreciative of any kind of help or feedback that you'd be willing to offer. We do have a lot of code that needs to be translated for the Medarot 3, approximately 6,000 lines of code if my buddy Variant, who is one of the heads of the project, was correct on it. And on top of that, he did say that when we do get to working on Medarot 4, that one has even more. So the more translators that we have, primarily, that he said that is the big thing we're looking for, is translators. The sooner we can start working on those projects and get everything cleaned, so we in the West can continually appreciate and play the older games and see pretty much where Medarot started and where all these new features and modern mechanics that we see in today's games truly began. For instance, Medarot 3 also was, as a fun fact, Medarot 3 is also where meta change was first implemented. So really excited to see more updates on that, and if you do have any time on your hands with some skills that you'd like to contribute, you're more than welcome to reach out to me or join our Discord or our public communities, and we can get you in touch with the right people to bring you up to speed on everything that needs done and what currently has been finished. But aside from all this, I do appreciate you guys for stopping by once again. If you want to know more, you can follow us below at the Medarot News Network page and the Metabots Forever communities on Facebook. You can also join us on Discord at the link provided and in the comments below for our Project Rising Beetle community of over 1,100, close to 1,200 members, steadily growing. It's always lovely to see more Medarot fans joining us, and we're more than happy to, of any others that would be happy to tag along, even just to keep an ear to the ground on anything related to Medarot. You can also follow me on Twitter personally at Isagami if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or feedback, or ideas for things I could cover. I've got a couple ideas for things that I'm working on, that are being currently worked on the side. Some big things upcoming that I've seen some progress on, and I'm really excited to get to show you. Quite possibly by year end or start of the next year, by 2022, some of these new features and things I've been working on will be able to come to fruition. So stay tuned for that naturally as more developments on those progress. Also give these fine folks a follow as well. The W2 report on Twitter. I was recently a guest star on their Twitter page and on their YouTube channel in regards to the Metabots versus Medarot crypto scam that's currently been ongoing and had a lot of very consistent developments thereof. So definitely give the W2 report a follow and keep up to date with that video where I did guest star. It was great to have it to be on there as well. So W2, if you are watching, thank you so much for having me once again. It was great. It was definitely a blast. You can also follow Akeko on Twitter as well for some more fantastic Medarot art. I have followed this artist before, both on Pixiv and on Twitter for the last while, and their art definitely does not disappoint, and always lovely to see yet more Medarot fan art gracing my feed. But aside from all this, thanks again for stopping by, folks. It's always happy to have you in for a visit. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.